Private sector wants to see to have high level of confidence that if it invests in a project, one, there will be cost recovery and it will be able to make a return.
The private sector is critical. The political leadership in any country has a crucial role to play. It's this role that made the Maputo corridor such a success.
He had the political drivers, the presidents of the two countries who championed it. And I think you really, when you're looking at projects that are cross-border, 2, 3 or more countries, you do need a champion to drive those projects. And the Maputo Development Corridor had those in place.
Further north of Maputo, the Panda Gas project could do with some level heads and some regional cooperation, as well as an understanding of who's going to benefit.
Where the country that is likely to demand more energy going forward is South Africa. Surely, if the project has to take off, South Africa, there must be clear visibility to South Africa of the benefits of a project like that. So it would make sense for South Africa to be prepared to make a bigger contribution to the preparatory phase.
We need to think differently about it. We need to look at vehicles that we can create, whether they are special purpose vehicles, whether they are arrangements that different countries make within a region, like the regional economic communities, to set up some sort of vehicle where they can then fund based on what they're going to be getting out of the project, based on what their own GDP is.
While this sounds fairly straightforward, there are some who believe that the private sector needs to have a better understanding of how governments and regional economic groups operate.
There is no platform where you can engage the African private sector. And this is a missing link. I think what is important, what they need to do, the African private sectors need to come together and create a group that we can engage with on a national, regional and continental level.
Whether or not the private sector decides to form these groups or not, we'll have to wait and see. But there are other options of raising capital, and it could involve listing projects on different stock exchanges.
What we need to do is look at how we can make that work across markets. So not only looking at the home market, say it's the Ivory Coast, but also looking at how the Ivory Coast and the JSE can partner in order to raise the quantum of funding that's required.
For infrastructure projects to see the light of day, it's essential that the private sector is involved in every phase, from conceptualization all the way through to implementation. If that doesn't happen, it's unlikely that any kind of infrastructure project will see the light of day. I'm Angelo Coppola for CCTV in Johannesburg.